Okay, I want to share with you today how to add a motif to a design. Now, I happen to have up a design from Made in America, and it is what's on the screen is hooping number 2 from the eagle block. And I'm going to add hooping number 3 to this eagle block. But it could be any block. It just is, I just want to show you an example of how to add a motif on a Bernina.
Why would we need to do that?
Well, great question. Here's why you might want to add it. This is hooping number 2. It fits in here. But number 3, I'm going to show you what number 3 looks like. Let me go up here. Is this little tiny piece. It just doesn't fit in an 8 by 12 hoop. But if you have a larger hoop, and for instance, I have on a 10 by 14 hoop, actually 10 by 15 3/4, but I have a longer hoop, so I can bring this extra piece in. I'm not going to do it right this second. I'm going to do it just a minute to show you here. But I want to show you, so many times in my designs, I have designs for, I'm now kind of really designing more for just 8 by 12 hoops. But if you have a bigger hoop, you might want to add a motif to it to cut down on how many times you need to hoop to get this full design finished. So here's how you do it. I'm going to go to the add a motif. Notice I am in the editing screen. I'm not at color 1. I just opened this design up. Now I'm going to go to the add a motif icon, which is right there. This icon means add to the design that is already on the screen. Add to the current design. If I went to open, that means dump this design and open a new one. So you want to make sure you're going to add a motif. On other brands of machine, you're going to see the add buttons because they ADD, add. You want to add to the current design. So I'm going to go to add a motif. It goes on mine, it goes right back to the folder I just worked in. You would have to advance to your folder if you're on a different machine. I'm going to add number 3, so I'm just adding this one to it. Notice it drops smack dab into the center of the hoop. Anytime you add anything, in all machines, it drops into the center of the hoop. Now, I need to move that down so I can see what I'm doing. Rather than me touch the screen, which I could do, I'm going to go to the eye for information and go to my move motif icon. And I'm going to use my knobs. And I'm going to bring this design down because in the instructions it shows me right where this design goes. It goes all the way down here and it goes into this corner. And I will show you that in just a second. I wait until I get the design kind of in position. Then, if you look up here, you'll see a circle with the crosshair. I'm going to kind of touch like the middle area of this piece down here. Let me get this piece right there. Because wherever that circle with the crosshair is on a Bernina, that's where your zoom goes. So now I'm going to zoom in with the plus sign. Boom. I waited about a second and a half because it takes a minute for it to do it. I'm going to zoom in again. Now you can see on here, my zoom is still going to go where the last place was that I touched. And so you can see it's right there, kind of in the middle of this new section. I'm going to touch the new section. There it is. And my goal is to line this up. So if I touch the top of this edge and I zoom in, you can see that I'm missing it by, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch or something. So I'm going to bring this top guy, since he's the one selected, down just a little bit. And I'm going to zoom in one more time. Look at the phenomenal zoom on a Bernina. It's like huge. I'm going to go right down here. Oop, just a skosh more. That's it right there. So my 2 lines line up perfect. I'm going to zoom out. So my up and down are perfect, but my sideways, my left-right might not be as great. So I'm going to just touch over here on this side because that's where I want my zoom to go. I'm going to zoom in and zoom in again. And here's where this goes. This corner is supposed to go over here to this piece. So I'm way too much to the right. So I'm going to use my zigzag knob. And I'm going to come over here. And if I touch right here, I'm going to touch right here. And I'm going to zoom in again because I think you can see it better. Here's the line. I can see my point right here. So I'm going to zoom in and get that corner right. One more. There. So I am lined up on this line and I'm lined up on this horizontal line. I'm going to zoom out a minute so you can see it. And you can see right here, this corner, this is where the design is. Now, right now, I'm only looking at the first design I brought in. If I touch over on the tray, whoops, let's get out of that. Let me try that again. Sorry, my touch screen is a little sensitive. I'm going to go to the top one up here. You can see there's my guy that I just brought in. I'm going to zoom in on him just again, just so you can see a little bit. Here's my original one that I brought in is right here. So you can see that I can, let me zip back. I want you to be able to see the two pieces. So this is the top one up here. This is the original one that I brought in. And if you go weight, and that has a number 1 and a 2. The first one I brought in is 1. The second motif I brought in is 2. But if you go down here to the bottom to both of them, you can see your design together, and it lines up beautifully. Just lines up perfect on the line horizontal, and perfect at the 90-degree angle, and perfect going straight down on the previously embroidered design. Now you can also see that this is not centered in my hoop. So if you go to the one that has no number, in other words, the very bottom tray, and you might have 7 or 8 things on these trays, go to the very bottom one that has no number. You touch your Move Motif icon and touch this hoop. It centers them in the hoop. And now I have both of those designs centered on my screen. So when I go to embroider them out, I don't have to re-hoop for the second piece. I'll do all of the first one, and then I will do the second motif without having to take it out. So that is how you add a motif and just kind of figure it out. And on my designs, you can kind of just go through and look at them. Every time you bring in one, see if you bring in the next one, go to add a motif and see if it works out, see if it fits. You might be able to cut down on some of your hooping. Alrighty, let's do it.